USC.
Hit that like button on your way in.
Go Buffalo.
On this second day of March Madness. We great get into it, man. Come on and tune in. If you're in the league, comment your team name in the comment section and join the conversation of the 2034 season of Homecoming League 2. Homecoming 2 League. Season 10, 2034. Top 25 rankings. We're going to go over the CFP bracketology, March Madness, right? We're going to go over the awards, who's racing. We're going to go over what's going on with teams in this year's season, the new coaches that are giving themselves the opportunity for a playoff berth at their new schools. We're also going to talk about the five-star flex again, and we're in week 11, and it seems like every five-star in this year's cycle has already verbally committed to a program already. We'll get into it, man. I'm man Hits, the guru. We are right back at it. HitsStory podcast, premiere, episode 1. Let's go. Dolo solo. Nobody's helping me with this conversation today. I'm just going to have a complete conversation in the morning with you guys on where our league is at right now and what stands, what, when, where, how. Shout out to all 32 league members. Actually, all 31 league members. We do have an opening. We're looking for a coach to take over the Penn State job. With that being said, let's lock in your top 25. Here we go. While I'm hanging out with my lovely mother this morning, Mrs. Ella D. Israel. What's up, baby? How you feel? How you feeling? You okay? Yeah? Good. We gotta take the medicine in a little bit, okay? I gotta give you brain medicine. But how you feeling today? You doing pretty good today? Yeah? Good. You get to hang up here with your son and your dog. Where your dog at? Where your crazy ass dog? I don't know. All right, CFP top 25 rankings right now. We looking at the college football rankings are out. It come out week 10. We are now in week 11. The league has been running smooth, man. I appreciate all the active users we have in our league. We have a few undefeated teams, and we have some group of 6 schools that are about to finish at the wire. And the American League, right? You got USF, Coach DC Hitter, and you got Tulane, Coach Knox took the head coaching job at Tulane, and Coach Hitter took the head coaching job at USF. Both teams are doing a really good job right now. Both teams are fighting to not only win their conference, but to find their way into the playoffs. Georgia Tech and Coach D West has this Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets sitting at number 10 in the college football bracket. I mean, college football rankings right now. Ohio State's making a comeback. Ohio State has made a wild comeback this year after having a abysmal season last year. Coach Antonio Todd has turned that program right back around right now, man. He got people in Columbus, Ohio excited about this Buckeyes team right now. So we get to see the fight of Ohio State's head coach, especially when, you know, the rumor mills was win or go, right? Like when your job on the line, you might find yourself doing some things, right? And they are getting it done right. This coach has always had this program with high expectations. It comes with the Ohio State brand, but I can tell you one thing: this coach has been fighting his ass off, and I do think that eventually we're going to see it pay itself off. It's going to pay off, right? Like he's putting the work in. He put a new regiment from the entire building. They changed a lot of stuff in the building of the Buckeyes, right? From their nutrition to how they work in a weight room. They got a new strength and conditioning coach. They also upgraded and went into deeper things when it comes down to offense and defense. They brought in some really good assistant coaches, right? The OC and the DC hired more guys. They allocated some of that NIL to hiring coaches, and I just think they're putting themselves in a situation where we're going to see it pay itself off, right? And you look at that North Carolina and Colorado sitting at 1 and 2 right now, with Clemson sitting at 3. Um, the question I would ask, right, with a 4.5 star program, has the Buffaloes put themselves in blue blood conversation when it comes down to talent acquisition, wins and losses, right? The big thing about Deion Sanders, Coach Primetime, is can you win the big game? He's 0-4 in the big game, right? They've been in 4 national titles and lost all 4 national
OC.
titles. Man, North Carolina has a national championship in this era of homecoming, and they had their first top class from high school rankings in a long time, right? Now they're starting to bring in 5 stars. Last year was the first time they got 5 stars from out of the high school rankings, and they seem like they're building onto that, right? So we're going to see, as we go down the stretch into college football 27 disc, we're going to see how North Carolina progresses with their roster. They've been doing it with 4 stars, and they get, only 5 stars they were getting were out the transfer portal, and now they're starting to get them from high school level as well. Um, I want to talk about the Florida State program as well. I know this football, we had to play Florida State this year, had them in Boulder, and I'm telling you, I think Florida State coach got it figured out. And they had a hell of a schedule last year. And this year, uh, the schedule was a tad bit lighter, still strong, but they got their home v home games like Boulder, Colorado. Buffalo's got to go to Doak Campbell next year. Uh, and that's a big time game. They got to do 2 for 2, right? When they come down to scheduling. So we'll see how that goes. Indiana has risen up the ranks of the Big Ten, and they are putting the entire league on notice right now, right? Their only losses to the last year's defending national champions, South Carolina. Indiana is out here putting in work right now. They got the Signetti situation popping right now, and they doing it with a bunch of 3 stars that they developed, right? So we'll see how that plays itself out. Sitting at number 4 right now. Who else is back in the building right now? Alabama. Coach Rand got Alabama playing really good football. One of 4 undefeated teams from the Power 4 rankings right now. Um, Alabama, right? They had the best of the best in the SEC over the last 2 scheduling periods, right? Their out of conference games wasn't as tough because of their in conference schedule, right? This year they've been stuck on the road a whole lot, and they're proving that they it doesn't matter. They're proving that they're getting it done, and at 10-0 right now, and for the most part, all the tough games that they had this year are out the way, and it's up to them to close out the season, right? The SEC, you know what I will say. I know it was always the argument who's better, ACC, SEC. SEC right now is proving that they are that, right? Like, I mean, you got some teams over there that's rising through the rankings. That's like winning big games, and it's SEC, right? In real life, that's how the SEC is. It's like you get your teams that always stay at the top, and then you get them off years where them up the top teams start to fall off a little bit, right? And then you start talking about what's what right now, right? Like the powerhouses of the SEC right now is Alabama sitting in the top of the list. Florida is beating up on everybody. South Carolina still in the mix with 1 loss. You also got LSU playing really good football with 1 loss. I still like Texas and what they've been doing over the last couple of years. I think they're cracking the surface right
This
now.
is the first time SEC hasn't had March 4th team without top 12.
He don't like the way you grab them. So the SEC is going to be a conversation of its own, right? Like them guys are over there. locking and loading. And what happens is you get 2 years on, 2 years off of the best playing each other, and this is not that year, right? So if you think about the SEC, what team to me has the easiest path to playing in the ACC championship, and it is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now let's talk about what they did out of conference, right? They had a UCLA team that was I think it was a playoff team last year, right? In week one, they went into UCLA and handled business. They had 2 road games, 2 home games, in their non-conference schedule, right? Well, they was actually supposed to have 2 road games, 2 home games, but you know how the schedule goes. When you set another schedule, some shit flipped back. So Penn State ended up being a road game, which they handled in Happy Valley pretty handily, right? It was one of the reasons why we lost the Penn State coach because of that 77-26 ass whipping they took to the Crimson Tide. But they took on UCLA, took care of them 59-34 in a big time week one matchup. They also come back home and Tuscaloosa can take on the new league coach, hoodie coach Houston program, right? The Cougars, right? Number 9 in the nation right now. Really big game, 45-35 in Tuscaloosa. Some looked at that game and said, Houston found a coach. Houston, we have a problem, right? A 10-point loss on a roll in SEC country and one of the loudest stadiums in the country, and Houston going there and loses by 10. And that's the storyline because it's Houston and a new coach, but Alabama did what they're supposed to do. They handled business and won this ball game. And then it came to the game of the game when it comes down to Alabama's schedule, right? You can honestly say this will be the biggest game on their schedule to date, right? Because Florida wasn't the Florida we're seeing right now. Now, they go on the road to Clemson and take care of that business in a home be home. They will be playing Clemson next year, and Clemson will have to come to Alabama. And they took care of business and won by 1 point, 49-48. And in these 3 games, what you started to see emerging with this Alabama program was the running back that they got from the Big Ten, Tim Bianca-Patuka, his son TJ Bianca-Patuka, transfers from Michigan to Alabama, and boy, you want to make a statement. The junior came out here and made a statement, and he's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the backfield threat, 6'2", 226. He goes and handled business in the UCLA game, 201 yards on the ground, 8.4 yards a carry, and a touchdown on that game. 2 broken tackles, 3 runs over 20 yards, right? Young freshman redshirt Brian Reed, the 5-star, homegrown out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Dual threat kicked in with 50 yards and a touchdown. That terrible offense is working at a high level right now for Alabama. And I'm bringing up Texas because they were down 21 in that football game. But that scheme, that offense, what they've been doing since season 2 has been amazing, right? It's hard to stop. And that they are hike, get on the ball, snap it in 3 seconds. Hike, get on the ball, snap it in 3 seconds. And they've been able to really give people problems with that. And what is cool about it is that it's their identity, right? Nobody else is really copying it, which is a good thing, even though football is a copycat sport. Not too many people are copying it, right? Like, people will turbo you, but nobody's going to do it the entire game like this Alabama Crimson Tide team would do. In my opinion, I think they should build more depth, especially when injuries come on at the end of this year. You have to build more depth. People are going to get tired faster, so you're going to need guys to better come in and keep up with that pace. But right now, the story was about TJ Bianca-Patuka, right? He comes out of that game and they play Houston, and let's see what TJ does. Let's see if they found themselves a guy this year, right? Quarterback Brian Reed, the redshirt freshman, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, 4 sacks on the day, right? Houston sending that shit. They send it out of that double-A gap. Now, Bianca-Patuka only had 22 yards in this game, 1.6. And this is where you start questioning things. Is he that guy? Right? Because that guy will be that guy in every game, right? But then you get some games where, right? But then they go to the true freshman, the redshirt freshman, Earl Azuma, who carried the ball 7 times, 12 yards to carry, and a touchdown in this game, 82 yards, right? So they were still able to get it done, but it looked like this was a Brian Reed game. All right, Coffee had 2 catches for 117, 58 yards to catch, 2 bombs in that ball game. Obata also had 2 catches for, like, this is the bombs away, catch you on, hurry up, one-on-one, man-to-man, and run by you. But again, the storyline is Bianca Patuca. So then he plays in this Clemson game, and after having a abysmal performance, the quarterback comes out and don't really play a great game. One touchdown, one pick. He was 50 was his longest pass. 131 yards, 7 for 14, 50%, 19 yards of play. But if the quarterback ain't have a good day, 30 carries to get it done with 261 yards, 10 yards to carry, 2 touchdowns, 2 broken tackles, and 5 runs over 20 yards. Coffee also kicked in with 5.9, so 6 yards to carry, 41 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 broken tackle as well. So they got a two-headed monster in their backfield right now. North-south receiver, backfield threat, TJ Bianca Patuca. So he makes up for that Houston game, only getting 22 yards in that game, and it goes crazy. And he's the reason why Alabama was able to beat Clemson, being able to control the run game. Then they go into conference play and they take on the hot Florida Gators. Now, early on, Florida started off the season with 2 losses, so they looked like they were right back in the same situation they was a year before. But we're going to come back and talk about Coach Shane, right? And then you look at what happens in this Week 4 matchup. They finally go on conference play, and Alabama is home at Tuscaloosa versus the Florida Gators. And let's see what happened in this ball game. Just a quick little rundown. 266 yards from the redshirt freshman, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. He was sacked once, 64%, 15 yards to play. And then Bianca Patuca, 30 carry man. You get that boy 30, he's going to give you 2-something. 250, 8.6, and a touchdown on the ground. 6 broken tackles in that ball game. 3 runs over 20-plus yards. And you also had the dual threat, Brian Reed, with 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Coffee, the redshirt freshman, or the junior. Where's the redshirt freshman? Hold on. Here you go. All right, so I'm sorry, he wasn't. He was the guy last week. He didn't play in the last 2 games. All right, so we're looking at TJ Bianca Patuca. Is he the best running back in the country right now? The more carries he gets, the better he gets. Longest run of the day in this game was a 59-yard rush. And then they dominate Arkansas, and they go over the points and yards record here in this situation, and suspensions were handed out. They paid the fine, and they was able to take care of Penn State 77-26, Mississippi State 84-16. They come off their bye week 8, take on Texas. This game was a way higher score than that. And the funny thing is the stats recorded, but the score didn't. So they gave him a 2-point win. 689 passing yards. This man threw 700 yards on the user, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, 3 sacks. 71%. This was one of his highest percentage games he had to date, right? And then Bianca Patuca, only 9 carries for 31 yards, 3.4. But when you're throwing the ball all over the park and your quarterback can run blast on the goal line, that 1.3 yards a pop don't matter when you score 3 rushing touchdowns with it. They kicked the shit out of Texas A&M, kicked the shit out of Ole Miss. They will be kicking the shit out of Kentucky. And then you got to deal with the Iron Bowl. Doesn't matter the record when it comes out of this football game. The Alabama Bowl comes down to who wants it more. Now, if I'm Alabama, this team has derailed this season over the last 3 seasons. You get this game in Tuscaloosa. You cannot lose the Iron Bowl to Auburn. Now, Auburn's having a down year. They actually been trying to get back on track. They've been kind of down over the last couple of years, but they have been a spoiler and a bunch of guys' seasons over here in the SEC. And to me, you win this game in Kentucky and then you go back home. I mean, you win this game home at Kentucky and you stay home and beat the Iron Bowl. Alabama finishes the season undefeated, and they're going to be looking for who they're going to play in the SEC championship, and they guarantee themselves a playoff berth after missing the playoffs the last 3 seasons. Alabama and Coach Rand and Coach Belichick, Coach Saban and Coach Guru Guru, I call him Rand, is handling business over there. What you doing over there, boy? Pharaoh. I think he losing his hearing. Hearing. What are you doing, buddy? You okay?
Florida.
Now, it's weird because Alabama is undefeated right now. They're 10-0, right? Their combined opponent records are 64-60, and Being
UCLA.
undefeated from the SEC and they're still ranked 5 right now tells you the real strength of this schedule, right? When you think about their strength of schedule is not as strong as it would have been if they were still in that hard part of their schedule, which will pop up in another season. You got one more season of off-brand SEC matchups, and then you play the guys of the guys in the third season. So right, so 2012 they'll be playing everybody again. But UCLA was ranked. Houston is 9, Clemson is 3, and Florida is 11, and that gives them the strength right there, right? But after that, no ranked teams, no more ranked wins, and that's the reason why he's sitting at 5 right now. But Alabama doing their thing. Shout out to Coach Rand. You look at Indiana; they just got out of a big time matchup last week, and we're gonna tell you one more time for you motherfuckers that are ranked and don't play your computer game. Don't be mad when you take a loss. You better play that fucking computer game. Week 9. Anybody that's ranked that have a computer game has to play the computer. If you don't play the computer, we'll start giving you losses. I've been very lenient on this rule, but we're not going to keep allowing it. You have to play your computer game if you're a ranked user. All right? Now, I'm giving that warning out there because it deserves to be out there. 51-45, they lose their week 1 game, and then they go on a splurge. They beat the shit out of Auburn. They take care of Florida by 20. They come off their bye week. They beat the shit out of Northwestern, 31-14 over Illinois, and it's the difference, right? Your score is low because you let the computer play your games, and we giving you wins here. And then the UCLA game, you take care of business, 56-41. Penn State, you handle them, 64-0. Maryland, same thing, 44-14. And then the Oregon game, 45-29. Let's see what Indiana's up to. All right, so they got Jay Poole, the redshirt freshman at quarterback right now, pure runner. So this guy is really a running shell, and I can see he didn't listen to me at all when I told him to move him to running back. When guys join the league and you give them that just join the league help, and you give them suggestions and they don't listen, oh well. You got a guy throwing for 38 yards. He had 2 touchdowns in this game, 5 for 7, but he ain't a thrower. That's why Boone getting his ass whipped, moving these motherfuckers to quarterback, and they pure runners and shit. They play fullbacks, tight ends, linebackers. Niggas think they slick moving motherfuckers. Motherfuckers be on YouTube like a motherfucker, and then start moving positions like I don't pay attention to it. But everybody got built NIL teams and stuff like that, so that shit don't even matter. But archetype, pure runner, is not going to get it done. When you need this guy to throw and be accurate, good luck with that. But you do got a pocket passer in Josh Hoover, the TCU transfer. Should be your starting quarterback, and Poole should be your starting running back. All right. When you look at the run game, he did get back. Turbo Richards transferred from Boston College. 19 carries, 168 yards, 8.8 yards a pop, 1 touchdown, 1 run over 20 yards, 2 broken tackles. They got Bogger as well, and he's shifty, east-west playmaker. True junior. He also kicked in with 7 carries, 15 yards a pop, 102 yards, and a touchdown. And then there's the running quarterback with 11 carries for 78 yards, 7.1, and 1 touchdown as well. Marshall Tolbert, I gotta make him Nick Marsh. I gotta find him. Where he at? We got a freshman. Fullback. We'll take care of that later. Let's get back to that game. All right, and the big game, this is for conference championship appearance, right? First half of this game, it was 7-7 in the first quarter, 14-3. Indiana go up, right? They 21-10 going into halftime, and then they scored another 24 points to 19 for Oregon, and they won that game 45-29. Put themselves in a situation to be able to play in the Big Ten championship. Look, man, Achilles Smith Jr. went out there for 309, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had 16 for 23, 69%, 19.3 yards a pop. They do got Jamichael James, right? LaMichael's little brother, 15 for 77, 5.1. Justin Forrest also carried the ball 6 times, 65 yards. And throwing the ball, they had 2 receivers over 100 yards. Dalton had 4 catches for 130. He also had Thomas, J. Anthony Thomas, with 2 catches for 101 yards. Is this DeAnthony Thomas's family member? Now we know you're a little taller at 6'1", 173. What that speed looking like? Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. All right, that gave Oregon their first conference loss. Now, Indiana will finish up with 2 computer games, right? They got Wisconsin and then their rival game against the Purdue Boilermakers. If he don't take losses for not playing a computer, he'll be in the Big Ten championship for sure. All right. Oregon right now is ranked number 6. They're going to fall from that number 6 spot. Ohio State, they got at Illinois. They took care of Notre Dame 55-38. When you look at their schedule, their big game started off with Oklahoma, winning that game 38-35. Look, man, Oklahoma has been victim of his own greatness, right? And that greatness is it ain't a player on his secondary or at the linebacker level that won't make you fumble on contact. And they have played 3 games that I could specifically tell you they had 14 fumbles, total fumbles in that game, and only recovered about 4 of them. And that gave them their first loss of the regular season in 2034 against Oklahoma. Made them fumble, didn't pick it up. Ohio State's quarterback running in for a touchdown and win the ball game. Carson Jones, and then you got Don Juan. Don Juan went for 242, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 3 picks and was sacked 4 times. He was 13 for 24 with a crazy 54%, 19 yards to play. And was able to still win that ball game, right? Juan was the reason why, though. He ain't have a great passing game, but he also did really good on the ground. And that 102 yards and that 1 touchdown was the game-winning touchdown for this Ohio State Buckeye. They got legacy players. You got Zeke Elliott Jr., only had 25 yards, 3.6 in the ball game. You look at the receiver, Torrey Holt Jr., 89 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did go crazy, right? 88 yards from Savi. You had Ted Ginn sitting here with 33 yards as well. Ohio State was able to get it done in week 1, right? And then they didn't look back. Took care of Louisville 45-43. UCLA 62-35. And then the big game right here, Notre Dame 55-38. And they handling business. Now, last year they lost the rival game, the big rival game in Ann Arbor against Coach Rob and that Michigan Wolverine football team. Can they handle business and get it done? This is the only threat they got left remaining on their schedule. Can they get it done in the Week 13 rival match? All right, that's going to be a big game, and I think nobody needs to not pay attention to that because this game was played last year and Ohio State lost the ball game. He being a brat. Don't worry about him. You going downstairs? Are you going downstairs? Okay. All right, so the games that I'm going to pay attention to will be right here. All right, so let's look at the player stats in this ball game, right? Luke Cannon, man. I'm telling you, the player comp for Luke Cannon, I told y'all this before. I called him a faster Matt Stafford. But then they also got Aaron McNair. They got the son of Steve McNair, who also played in this game. And he was the guy in this game as a true sophomore. He went for 354, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks. He did get sacked 3 times, and he was under 60%. But he threw for 20 yards of play. You start looking at what they did in the rushing game. Their Heisman winner, Rage Tunsil, 10 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. He's in the one of the front runners in the Heisman conversation, but like he did not have a great game in this game. Now look, 65 yards and a touchdown, 6.5 yards to 7 yards a carry, only on 10 carries. 10 more carries, you're looking at 100 yards plus. But he also did do this, caught the ball out the backfield really well. Now, last time Notre Dame had a running back that can catch the ball and for 100 yards a game and run the ball for 100 yards a game was Jeremiah Love. And they had one of their best seasons they had up to date, right? And I think they're trying to get back to that. They got that type of talent in in their system right now, right? They're doing a hell of a job in recruiting. I think they're third when it comes down to how many 5 stars they brought in. They got guys that are legit weapons, right? Andre Benjamin, a dog, 6 foot. I mean, six catches for 109 yards and a touchdown in this ball game. Edward Decker, Decker's little brother, 2 for 45 in this game. You got Torrey, Jacoby Myers, the second with 3 catches, 26 yards. You also had Parker Hillis, the big back. You know what? If you want to make them really want to make them Hillis, I'll make them Hillis size for you. But this game ain't about Notre Dame. It's about what's going on in the Ohio State Buckeyes quarterback room. And Don Juan didn't have to play in this game at all because Carson Jones went for 437, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. Only sacked one time, 22 for 34, 64%, 20 yards of play. That's what you want to see out of your quarterback. And in the run game, Zeke goes crazy. 12 for 148, 12 yards a pop, 1 touchdown, 2 runs over 20 yards. And in the receiving room, Pippen had a day. 2 catches, went bombs over Baghdad. Bombs over Baghdad. 122 and a touchdown. Savi had a touchdown, 78 yards, and Torrey Holt Jr. had a touchdown. And then Quietus kept tight end Ben Pino with 2 receiver touchdowns in this ball game as well. Again, only thing that's in Ohio State's way, and the reason why they sit at number 7 is because of the ranked opponents, right? They had 2 ranked opponents. I'm quite sure they had more when the games were played, but right now they only have 2 ranked opponents, and they have their combined opponent record is 58 wins to 64 losses. So they got that. So by them sitting at 7, they got to be careful right here, right? They can't go and lose to Michigan and then don't win it in the Big Ten championship. They got to finish out the regular season undefeated, and then they will be able to afford a loss and a championship game depending on where their ranking is at the end of that Week 13 matchup. All right, LSU. Coach Albert got this LSU football team going crazy. Look, they lost Tony Banks last year, one of the best quarterbacks in the cycle. He went 3rd overall in the 2033 NFL draft, 3rd overall to the Philadelphia Eagles. And they following up. Who's the quarterback? That was the question all year. They got all the pieces they need. Who is the quarterback that's going to lead this program, right? They got a really big game. They had Georgia this week. They took on Arizona State, took them out with Arizona State's new coach, 49-41 in that ball game. They go to Florida State and they lose 56-42. And I'm telling y'all, Florida State is something different this year. And you'll see what it look like next year. They take care a forced win against Louisville, 33-28. Miami, they go in the building and beat them 56-14. They also handle their first in-conference game, Missouri, 55-9. They come off the bye week. They take care of Tennessee, 48-24. And then they go on a run, right? But let's see what they did. I don't want to see too much. I just want to know what the quarterback play looked like. And Darian Umers, right? The redshirt sophomore thrower at 6'3", 212 out of Houston, Texas. They better keep him on the roster because Houston got a coach right now that will get them Houston boys back in to Houston and keep them in Texas playing football in Texas right now. And that's scary for me, myself, as well. Coach Hoodie know what he's doing in recruiting. I'll show you that in a second. And you better not lose nobody from Texas on your roster to the portal. They will not come back. And K.O. Simpson, all right, they got senior that they're not really playing. But look, Omers, 92 overall, dual threat. Got it done. 2 sacks on the day. No interceptions. He was 76%, 19 yards of play. That's going to get it done. What the run game look like? How about Wayne Canty, the redshirt junior, elusive bruiser out of Zachary, Louisiana? 12 carries, 127, 11 yards a pop, and a touchdown on the game. 2 runs over 20 yards. Mustard, get him on that beat. They still got Manny Johnson, who in my opinion will be the first tight end off the board this year. Mustard stepped into that number 1 role at receiver with 6 for 145, 2 touchdowns in this ball game. And then Mike Pete, the true junior contested specialist at 6'2", he goes up and get the 50-50s. And you can see it in this game with 5 catches, 84 yards, 17 yards to pop, 1 touchdown, getting it done. They also got true freshman Randy Savage, 6'5" contested specialist, 50-50. You got adrenaline fanfare and best friend. He's going to be a problem going forward. So they're starting to keep the box loaded when it comes down to weapons. So we like what they look like right now. So they got it done offensively in this ball game. And Umers is looking like he that guy. Now, to finish out the season, this is the hard part of it. They handled the first big game, Texas. They got to go on the road to Georgia. They come back home versus Auburn, and then they're back out on the road against their rival in the rival game at Texas A&M. Now, listen to what I'm saying to you right now. If they can win these next two games, it looks like LSU will be playing for a conference championship again. And will they be playing Alabama? Will they be playing Florida? Will they be playing South Carolina? Win and you win. As simple as that. Win and you win. Win and you in. Everything is in Coach Albert's hand. Win and you're in right now. They got one of the best rosters in college football right now. Definitely one of the best rosters in the SEC. They can go three deep damn near every position. They are ready to go. You already know how that Lane Kiffin train go. NIL is there. They can do everything, all right? And they just got to better show and prove against Georgia, especially a team that had to play without their starting quarterback for 3 weeks. And yes, I will be checking. If he ain't sit for 3 weeks, he'll be done for the rest of the year. Auburn can be a spoiler to a bunch of these SEC teams that are planning to try to get an SEC championship. So beat Georgia, beat Auburn, and you'll be dancing in the SEC championship with a year to be able to call yourself one of the best in the SEC. All right, this Houston program has been a down program for a few years. Then the Louisville coach took the Houston job, got them in the playoffs. They were in the same situation a couple of years ago that they are right now with Houston and Coach Hoodie. Number 9 in the nation, made the playoffs, lost in the first round, comes back the following year and go 0-3, and then takes the Michigan job, leaving this team in a really good roster just sitting idle, waiting for a coach to come and save the day. And I think they found the absolute right coach. This Houston program is going to be scary. Right now, they on a straight head-on-head collision course with Colorado in the Big 12. And you can't talk about a schedule. Look, their combined opponent record, 77 wins, 48 losses. Strength of schedule. If they don't lose another game, do not think that they won't be a top 3 team. They take on Auburn, lose 10 points to Alabama and Tuscaloosa. They take care of how is this not a rival? Anyway, another Texas school, and Texas Tech ranked 21 in the nation right now. They beat them 48-14 very convincingly. Then they start to run through the Big 12. Kansas State 84-13, Arizona 84-10. Then they get the Notre Dame matchup, and they take care of business 62-40, and this is the game that knocked Notre Dame out of the rankings. They got a senior quarterback that Coach Rob brought in, and he never left. He never hit the portal. He stayed, and now he's benefited from that. Look at this. Look at the game. Went for 570, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 3 sacks. Didn't matter about the 4 picks. 21 yards of play, 65%. Fries, backfield creator, gets it done at 6'4", 217. But they got a running back that's in the building. Colorado's transferred Jaquil Smith. Only had 12 carries, 40 yards, 3.3, but he did score in this game. Fries, the quarterback, also kicked him with 70 yards. Did fumble, had one run over 20 yards. But when you throw for 5 something, it's all about the receivers. Now, Randy Proctor, senior speedster, he went the fuck off. 6 catches for 215, 3 touchdowns. Jaquil Smith out of the backfield, 6 catches for 132 and a touchdown. And then you got their other receiver, Azuma Anunwa. Did he come from Oklahoma? Am I skitzing? Is this an Oklahoma transfer? Dwayne Sneed, the tight end, goes for 58 yards. And then you got Gammon, the senior receiver from out of Winneteka. Illinois, had 5 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown in that ball game. Now Houston is in a situation where they did lose to North Carolina in a close ball game. It was a 5-point game when they lost this game. Really shouldn't have. He had to go. He was going for it on 4th down and had to punt. Didn't feel like going through all that punting the ball shit, so he just conceded. Gave Falk a 5-point win. Took care of UCF. Took care of West Virginia. Comes off the bye. Take care of Oklahoma State. And tonight, 9 p.m., they got Texas. Win this game, right? It doesn't hurt you no matter if you lose it, but if you win this game and then beat Utah, you're going to the conference championship, and I think you'll be highly ranked. But if you lose this game, can you go from 9 and out of the playoffs? It's some big games we got to pay attention to tonight for sure. All right, Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech number 10 in the nation right now, but they number 10 because all their computer games were forced wins. I'm not even going, I mean, we'll see how they can finish out, right? Like, this is the highlight game. They lost by 7, 49-42. But as you can see, it's nothing but aways and homes. They're all computer games, though. But he does have to finish the season out with some user games, right? He got Louisville, SMU, and then he got to play Georgia in the rival game. So we'll see what happens with Georgia Tech and Coach D West, right? And what happens is this: it's some teams that's outside of the bubble right now that needs them to lose, right? And preferably needs them to lose against Louisville and Georgia. But the team that we all should be highlighting and talking about this year is this Florida Gator football team. And here's why. They are playing outstanding football. They can continue to do what they've been doing through the SEC this season and take on number 14, South Carolina, at South Carolina. And if they can get the dub there, man, we're going to talk about one of the best seasons we've seen in a long time. Like I said, they took care of Miami 56-21, and then they went on a 2-game losing streak where they lost 62-42, 63-43, 20-point losses in both big-time games against top 5 teams. And then they take on Tulane, take care of that 43-33, get themselves a 10-point win over the newly coached Tulane team. They go handle business in Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and then they get the Oklahoma game, and they get that at home. And they take on Oklahoma, the 15th team in the nation, and they go 45-35 with a 10-point win in this ball game. And it's the game that showed that they are starting to play good football. And then you see the run. Auburn, 49-35. Georgia, 41-31. If they can get this South Carolina team to end conference, they will be in a good situation. Put it this way. Win out, and you are in the playoffs, win your next 2 conference games, and you could or should be in the SEC championship. But here's where it gets tricky. It's a tough ass schedule down the stretch. South Carolina is not a team to sneeze at. They are the defending national
Lots
champions.
of new faces in the playoffs. Could
Yes,
be.
sir. Missouri computer team, but then this Florida State team. Do not look at Florida State at 6-3 and not ranked with 5-1 conference play right now, and think that they're not a team that can be played with. That rival game is going to be one of the biggest games of the season, depending on how this Georgia and South Carolina game, the South Carolina game go. Florida wins the South Carolina game, this will be the biggest game of the season. All right, so the group of 5 schools, USF and Tulane. They're on a head-to-head collision for the American Conference. The winner of that will be representing the group of 6 in the playoffs. Simple as that, right? There's not a game that hitters should lose all the way up until that Week 13 matchup against Tulane. They get that game in Tampa, Florida. This USF team, not only did they get a new stadium built and they upgraded in so many spots, they got NIL going crazy over there for the coach that came from Ohio State and took over this job. And you can literally say the same thing for Tulane, right? They're trying to get a new stadium built. They got NIL, and they're doing a really good job. Nebraska's played really well too, 9-1. They ranked 13 in the nation. All right, they're coming off a bye, and they got Northwestern. But look, ask yourself this: when it comes down to the Big Ten, Nebraska doesn't play anybody that's significant, all computer teams, right? And they'll have one conference loss. Who the fuck keep texting me? One conference loss. Would that put them in a conference championship game? All right, so one conference loss, right? And they're 13th because they got their combined opponent record is more losses than wins. 57 wins, 64 losses. But they are 9-1, right? You would think they would be higher ranked than 13, but they really haven't played any ranked teams. And the teams that were ranked aren't ranked anymore, so it lowers their strength of schedule. But I can tell you this: if I'm Nebraska, the only way you're not finishing with one conference loss is by not playing these games, right? Because you're 13th in the nation. If you don't play the game, you will not get the win. I promise you that. Only way you getting the win is 30 at fault hop on and want to hit this shit, and you the only couple computer games we waiting on them. Then that's it. Other than that, if I catch it, I promise you that shit will be a loss. Now, it's crazy because South Carolina is the defending national champions, and they got one loss on the year, and it drops them to 14. So I'm assuming the strength of schedule, 67 wins versus 55 losses. They take on number 4. Texas was ranked when they played them. UCLA might have still been ranked. Tennessee, they went in there, dog walked Tennessee 98-49. And then they played another basketball game, 71-70. That loss late to Georgia is hurting them right now because now they got the first win over Auburn, which to me, I wish Auburn would have played that game, win or lose. But Florida is not giving up no first win. And then they got their arch rival that's becoming one of the better rivals in our league with Coach Kemp and the hot Clemson Tigers versus South Carolina. So if they can handle business against number 11 Florida, they put themselves right back in the conversation for SEC championship and playoff berth. All right, now Oklahoma, can they get themselves back into a playoff conversation? They rank 15th right now. Uh, the question is going to be what's down the stretch, right? And they have no more ranked games down the stretch, but they do have a really good combined opponent record, 72-51. Right, it's almost 20 point difference when it comes down to win and losses. So that's a good thing. But the question will be, will they be able to get it done with Vanderbilt? And even if they beat Michigan, Michigan is not ranked, so that's not going to help them at all. Can they win these last 2 games, which they should? They're favored to win it. And then do they get help from the playoff gods and losses in front of them bump them right back up into a playoff berth? If not, you'll be looking at this Oklahoma team who's been dominant through this entire disc as not making the playoffs for the first time and under Coach Max's tenure. All right, so you start looking at what's at the end of the schedule. 25, 24, Boise State. Louisville is at 23. Florida International at 22. 21 is Texas Tech. TCU. Virginia Tech is at 19. USC is at 18 right now. Texas State. Tulane rounds off your top 25. When it comes out of conference play, who's going to be in the dance? This is what it looks like. All right. So North Carolina and Clemson don't play each other. All right. So it looks like they're on a head-on collision to the ACC championship. Now, I do think, if I'm not mistaken, I do think Clemson still has Florida State. All right. So Clemson has Florida State at advance, and then South Carolina. Now, the South Carolina game doesn't matter for conference play, but that Florida State game is going to be super important in Doak Campbell, Tallahassee, Florida State, if they can get the upset over of Clemson, it will murder their season, especially going into Week 13 in that rival game against South Carolina. Me personally, I think Clemson handles business. They've been playing really good all year. Their only mishaps was to Texas. No, so I'm sorry, Alabama got them 49-48, 1 point loss. So Clemson is playing really good football. They got a really good roster. They got some really good talent. They went and got that 6'8" transfer from Virginia Tech at tight end, and he's looking like he's on course to winning the Heisman this year. When you get a weapon like that, that has that type of size and speed, and you can get the football to him, and you do a good job of identifying that talent and putting him in situations to win on every play. And then you got that backfield and a quarterback that's trying to show that he was the better 5-star. He had to wait his time a little earlier than the other one did, but it's his show right now, and that's the coach's son. So we'll see how that goes. What's wrong, mother? All done? If you go in there, you want some snacks? If you go in there and open that up over there and look at the bottom of it, it's cakes in there. Just walk around. Come on, baby. Just move the chair out your way. There you go. Step over, come around. Yep, go right over there to that little, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Keep going. Open it up. Open that up. Open the cabinet up. There you go. Now look at the bottom. You see the cakes at the bottom? All the way at the bottom. All the way at the bottom. You see the cakes? There you go. Yeah, go ahead and get one. And no matter which ones you get. Hold on, baby. I'll get it. I got you. 2 seconds. Yeah, I thought they were down there. They're not down there. I got you. Hold on. Let me get by. Here you go. Here, take this one. And here, take this one. All right, babe. Yes, ma'am. They're called donut sticks. You just eat them. You know how to open it, or you want me to open it? Here, give me. Here you go. It's open. All right. Give me that. All right, I'm gonna go back to doing my show. Okay. If you need me, I'm right here. Okay. Yeah, so Clemson is in a situation winning they completely in right now. They are a top 3 team when it comes down to the bracket. They will be sitting in the quarterfinals, and really, the North Carolina battle, right, will be the battle. Them two go at it all the time, and the record is it switches year after year, right? You might get a team that won 2 years in a row in the conference championship, and then lose to that same team in the playoffs, or you might get a team that win it all and then get to a championship. But that game is going to be super important, and it's the Florida State game, right? I think even though you're looking at Clemson, you see a whole bunch of ranked teams still on there. Now you got 5, 23, 10, right? And at advance, Florida State should be a ranked football team. And I'm telling you, that's going to be the biggest game to date when it comes down to Clemson, right? And I'm only saying that because I got to play Florida State and I watched them play North Carolina. And I think they found themselves. They found something, right? You still got Charlie Ward's son at quarterback. You still got Ward Dunn on that roster. The son of Ward Dunn, the legend. They still got some guys over there. Anquan Bolden's son is still over there. Ant Bolden. They got some guys over there, man. And they dial it up. One thing I will tell you is their offensive coordinator dials it up. The problem is their quarterback is reckless. As much as they dial it up, their quarterback throw way too many untimely interceptions, right? Like way too many. And I think that's if they clean that up, then you're looking at a Florida State team that really shouldn't even have 3 losses right now. It's good. Yes, man. What is wrong with my lighter? Oh, I ain't got no fluid. other one go? God damn it. All right. Let's get back at it. Apologize. But again, Florida State, South Carolina, these are the two games at the end of the year that Clemson is looking to be able to handle business, right? They want to go two in a row against South Carolina, and they want to get Florida State out the way, right? And they get the Florida State game in Florida State, and they get this game at home in Death Valley. So we'll see how it plays itself out when you're looking at conference play. And again, North Carolina is not in a situation at all because they don't play anybody, right? Boston College, 84-3, and they're going to beat the shit out of Wake Forest. They're going to beat the shit out of North Carolina State in that rival game, and then they'll be undefeated waiting for either Florida State or Clemson to play them in an ACC championship. And when you look at the Big 12, well, the American, let's take a look at it. So right now, Tulane is ranked number 16, and USF is ranked number 12. And if the playoffs was to start today, the way this is lined up, Tulane will be in the playoffs over a one-loss number 12 ranked USF, right? And I think it's like that because there's going to be a group of 14 that will not get in the playoffs because of one of these users over here in a group of 6 in the American League. But they're on a head-on-head collision, right? To seeing each other. Simple as that. The winner of this game will guarantee themselves a playoff spot. So there will not be a computer game in that week in that 12 ranks position for the playoffs. There will be a user sitting in that game. No more free runs. All right, so Colorado and Houston are on a head-on-head collision course for the 2034 Big 12 championship game. And neither one of these teams play anybody at the end of the year to have to affect them for not going undefeated. Because Houston can lose this Texas matchup, and all it would do is hurt their playoff chances. It will not stop them from going to the Big 12 championship and having a chance to win a Big 12 championship their first time in conference play, joining Houston head coach Hoodie takes this Houston Cougar program, will get them into the Big 12 championship and have a chance to win a Big 12 championship in his first year. Now, the Big Ten is a little different. Indiana's undefeated. Oregon has one loss. Ohio State's undefeated. Nebraska with one loss. And it comes down to right here. Neither one of these play each other. And the only thing can affect Ohio State is this Michigan game, right? Indiana is in a situation where nothing really should be affecting them unless they don't play their computer game, right? Last 2 games. So Indiana is going to the Big Ten championship no matter what. And Ohio State beat Michigan, and they're in the Big Ten championship. All right, and then the SEC, when it comes down to the SEC, you see Alabama's undefeated, 6-0. LSU is 5-0. Florida's 5-1. South Carolina's 5-1. Georgia's 5-1. And Oklahoma's 5-2 in conference play. Alabama got to get over their nemesis, Auburn. That's the game that will determine what they're going to do. And LSU got a hell of a back-end schedule. Again, if LSU could take Georgia out and Auburn out, they should be fine, and they should finish undefeated and go in a SEC championship. But that's a big if. Auburn and Georgia both can play spoiler because Georgia is trying to get themselves into a Big Ten SEC championship themselves, right? As soon as I'm done with the show I'm doing right now. All right, so LSU, Arkansas, that's their last 2 games right now. All right, this Florida game killed them. flat out killed them, right? That loss, that 3-point loss, hurt them for sure right now, man. Because now they got that. Even if they beat LSU, that loss is going to hurt them unless Florida loses to South Carolina. This is interesting, man, because you literally got like it's enough user games in this conference that's going to be played that Oklahoma's still not out of the mix. So this is a legit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-team race for sure with a pump possible with 15th Oklahoma, which is crazy. SEC still SEC-ing, fellas. Now, if the playoffs was to start today, Tulane will be in at 12 for the group of 6. Alabama will be facing Tulane at 5, which is crazy. Them sitting at 5, I would think an undefeated SEC team would be sitting right in the quarterfinals. Houston will take on LSU, number 9 versus number 8. Florida, number 11, will take on number 6 Oregon, and number 10 Georgia Tech will take on number 7 Ohio State. With North Carolina with the 2nd seed, Clemson with the 3rd seed, Colorado with the 1st seed, Indiana with the 4th seed. That's the playoff picture as of week 11 right now. We know every week, all the way up until it's time to get into the playoffs, this picture will change. You got scenarios where if Tulane beats USF and a couple of teams in the first round loses, you might have it where you got 2 group of 6 teams playing in the playoffs with users this time. It could end up that way. Long couple of games away from getting to that conversation, right? All right, let's look at the Ward's watch list right now. Look, man, that tight end, Mr. Bad, 6'8", 221-pound physical route runner is going crazy with 50-50 platinum. He is having a year. 115 catches, 35 touchdowns, 2,659 yards. Are we seeing the best season we've ever seen from a tight end? 889 yards at the contact, 6 drops on the year. True junior. I mean, I don't see this kid sticking around. He don't have to. He'll be the best tight end. Might be the best player in this year's draft. Because you know you got a guy, look, 93 speed. You got a guy that's a 4.4, mid 4.4, right? Could be a 4.5, but mid 4.4 at tight end, right? 6'8", 221 pounds. The only question you're going to ask is how is he as a blocker? Simple as that, right? And the Sacramento State transfer to Colorado, from Colorado to Houston, Jaquel Smith, he followed his coach, right? He followed the go-go architect and Brendan Marion to Colorado, but then decided he was going to take his talent to Houston, Texas, where he's from. And he's 2nd on this list. TJ Bianca-Patuka is 3rd on this list. Rage Tunsil, the old Colorado player as well, 4th on this list. And what you're going to see
He
is...
might come back only a 94 author.
I know, but the way he playing, boy, shit. KJ Spiller, dog, still back. Looking at the stats right here, 91 attempts for 35. He doesn't even have 100 carries on the year, and he's already at 1,500 yards. 1886, 21 touchdowns for Rage. TJ got 2,166 yards on 246 carries, 8 yards a pop, 25 rushing touchdowns. Jaquil, 180 carries for 1,564, 24 touchdowns, 647 as a receiver, and we already showed you the numbers of the top dog. Julian Lewis is playing well, 50 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions, 57 attempts, 256 on the ground, 81%, 4,116 yards passing as a redshirt junior. Jermichael James having a hell of a season on his way to 1,000 yards, 3 yards away from that, 22 carries, 22 rushing touchdowns, 12 yards to carry on 1997. Evan Sawyer in a Wildcat back with 182 attempts, 1,569, 20 touchdowns, 201 yards catching the ball. How about Jamal LeBron from USF, senior running back? He got 1,399 on the ground, 20 touchdowns, and 310 yards as a receiver. Then you're looking at Tulane's Brian Monk, another running back. He got 1,048 yards, 19 touchdowns, 466 as a receiver. Maurice Teller, the Cannon product, 80 catches, 1,458, the redshirt freshman, 14 touchdowns, only 3 drops, 685 yards after contact. And then Deshaun Hines, the running back for Florida State, he's doing it in the ground and the air. Like he's on his way to, they have a couple more big games. He'll have 1,000 yards as a rusher and 1,000 yards as a receiver if he can finish out 9 rushing touchdowns, those 7 yards a pop. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 running backs. So out of 12 players, you got a tight end, a quarterback, and a receiver on this list. All running backs. You saw over the last couple of years when you start to watch the playoff games, the championship games, you saw the running game being the big thing, and now you're starting to see the league take on that form and understand how important running the ball is. That's why you got 9 running backs in the top 12 of the Maxwell Award. Same thing with the Walter Camp Award. And then the Bear Bryant Cody Award. Got a couple of user coaches on there with North Carolina at number 2 right now, Coach Falky. The David O'Brien Award, we're talking about the quarterbacks in this league. Junior, redshirt junior, Julian Lewis. Then you're looking at legend Newkirk. Remember Newkirk won the Heisman. Newkirk still holds records when it comes down to throwing a football around a park. His younger brother decides it's time to get busy at North Carolina, transfers in, and he has 43 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions on the year, flinging that thing around the park. Tulane's quarterback, Garrison Volk, is having a good year. 5,265 yards, 50 touchdowns, but he do got 22 picks, 78%, 126 on the ground. I'm assuming, looking at these numbers, that he has the most passing yards out of all quarterbacks this year. The redshirt junior. Brian Reed, the redshirt freshman, 4,080 yards, 48 touchdowns, 21 picks, 177 yards on the ground. D'Angelo Fries, 454 on the ground, 50 touchdowns, 4,271 yards, 19 interceptions. Quarterback Darrell Simonson comes back with 3,035, 36 touchdowns, 12 picks, 394 on the ground, 69 completion percentage. How about Achilles Smith Jr. with 2,787 yards, 43 touchdown passes, 7 INTs, 69 passing completion percentage, 250 on the ground. Darren Olmers, we talked about him, 3,536, redshirt sophomore, 36 touchdowns, 14 picks, 184 yards on the ground. Look, does he transfer out now that TCU is a computer team? Joe Robisky transfer out. Robisky with redshirt sophomore, 2,893 yards, 34 touchdowns, only 5 picks, 77%, 262 on the ground. Backfield creator, straight sophomore. Tony Cali, California's junior, 29-42, 26 and 7. And then you're looking at Georgia's quarterback, Kwambina Cope. Now again, his ass better been sitting or your ass in trouble. I promise you that. I'm on your ass. Should have paid the fine. Starting versus that. All right, I respect it. How about Coach Rob? His son, Robert Woods Jr., is up here, number 12 at the quarterback Davey O'Brien list as a true freshman, too. 2,318 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 71%, 417 yards on the ground. Are we looking at one of the next best quarterbacks in college football? The Chuck Bednarik Award goes to the best defender in the country, and that's Devin Mentor. He got 20 sacks on the year, 39 tackle for losses, 1 fumble, and 10 starts, 28 tackles, 37 assisted. How about Houston's Terrell Jeffrey, Mike linebacker, 37 tackles, 29 tackle for loss, 6 passes deflected, 5 sacks, 5 interceptions in 10 games. Then there's the Colorado runoff. When you're looking at Randall Fontenette, the Vanderbilt transfer, he comes in balling out for Colorado. 6 picks on the year, 10 deflected, 2 sacks, 32 tackles. And you're looking at Emmanuel Ziga, who ran a 4.4 and Colorado's opening day timing. He got 15 sacks, 31 tackles for loss. The redshirt senior is trying to finish out his career with a good year, 5 fumbles as well. You're looking at Carson Crawford, the 5-star senior linebacker from out of Texas. 19 tackles, 19 tackle for losses, 3 sacks, 52 tackles assisted. And then Ezra Christensen, the New Mexico State transfer, 12 sacks, 29 tackle for loss, 2 fumbles, 17 tackles, 31 tackles, assisted, 10 games started. Patrick Falk, man, the my player, right? The son of the offensive coordinator for North Carolina. 19 sacks. And Bill Belichick will be retiring this year, and Coach Falk will be taking over that job as the head coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels. But he got 19 sacks, 36 tackle for losses. He balling out 15, 36. Meta, meta, meta. Now, it's hard for me to say who the best linebacker in college football this year when Alabama stays with a Mike linebacker in the mix, right? But I honestly, now I could be biased because I watch practices, I watch games. You know, we're on headset all the time together and we watch each other games and stuff like that. I haven't seen a guy that make better plays than LJ Teller, Lawrence Teller's son. But he's playing Mike. He got moved from edge to outside line. I mean, from edge outside linebacker to middle linebacker, and I've never seen a guy get the football the way he does. He gets there, and you combine that with what Patrick Falk is doing as a redshirt freshman, man, it's getting scary over there for the defense of North Carolina. And as soon as you say that, you go to sleep. You think you went to sleep in Dalton Shaw, 35 tackles, 45 assisted, 3 sacks, 25 tackles for losses. Another Mike linebacker at 6'3", 232 out of Youngsville, Louisiana. The redshirt junior is handling business as always when it comes down to what they do at the linebacker level. I still think Alabama's linebacker you. We'll look at LJ's numbers: 13 sacks at Mike, 27 tackles for loss. Meta. Anytime you see Mike linebacker with all them damn sacks, they is blitzing the shit out of you. Meta. 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 Basama Kamara from New Jersey, Monmouth, New Jersey. Played at Monmouth, transferred into Colorado. Finally gets to start as an elite pass rusher, as an elite 4-star. Right? Thank God he playing time. I don't know why playing time is his shit. He's a senior. Shouldn't even be the fuck about there. You're out there anyway, right? You going to the league. What you bitching about? But then when you look at what he's doing, 14 sacks on the year, this is actually a down year. He still got 59 points to put on him, too. Oh, my God. Is he tapped out? Tapped out. All right. 14 sacks, 27 tackles for losses, 26 tackles, 2 fumbles, and then Zach Petty, the corner. No, he stayed. He didn't transfer out. Everybody wanted him, but he stayed. 5 interceptions, 7 passes deflected, 30 tackles at the corner position, boundary corner too, small side of the field. And then there's Dylan Manuel, the transfer from what's that team that used to beat up on all the ranked teams? Fuck. All right, let's give a 2-speed to excel. What's the team? You know, not North Dakota State. This never mind. Appalachian State. I found it myself. Fuck it. Dylan Manuel. And is he a senior this year? Red shirt? No, true junior. 9 sacks, 28 tackles for loss, 3 fumbles. That's the Chuck Bednarik Award. Now look, the Bronco Nurjiski Trophy is the same thing. Best this award is presented to the Defensive Player of the Year. Now, when you look at the Chuck, you got Mentor, Jeffries, Fontenette, and then Izuba. But when you look at this one, you got, see how it changed? All right. Thorpe Award, Randall Fontenette. Let's see who out here doing best DB shit. Now, he got 6 picks. I don't think he is leading the country in interceptions. What's going on? I'll tell you when I get off my show. Listen, Dominique Ponders, quarterback for Colorado, died in a car accident last night. Well, the night before, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I want to rest in peace to Dominic Ponder. I'm gonna give myself a little minute, man, because, you know, I follow the fuck out of Colorado football program. This kid was Ed Reed when he had the Bethune-Cookman job, and before they fired him, before the season even started, that was Ed Reed's quarterback. And one of the main speeches Ed Reed gave when he was getting fired was about that kid, and you know that he had 35 kids committed to Bethune-Cookman, 3 and 4 stars all over the country, especially from Florida. And he wanted to do right by Dominique Ponder. And Dion, being who he is, brought him in as a walk-on to Colorado, and he's been there for 3 years. Dominique Ponder, man, if you watch The Well Off or Reach the People or any of Darius or Big Uncle Nilly, you watch any of their drones, he was a really big personality there, man. Wasn't a bad quarterback, right? Like, he could have transferred out and went to a group of 6 school and started for sure. But he was sticking it out with Colorado, man, and he died in a single car accident himself, being in a car, made a right turn, and crossed over the road, hit a guardrail, went through the guardrail, and then kind of rolled down a mountain, hitting the electric pole, and then the car catching fire. He was pronounced dead on the scene. So I'm going to give a minute, moment of silence for young Dominique Ponder, 23-year-old quarterback for Colorado. Rest in peace, Dominic Ponder, 2002, 2026, 23-year-old quarterback for Colorado Buffaloes, man. Put your rest in pieces in the chat, man, if you're watching right now. And especially my Florida guys, man. Y'all know all about him. He came from Naples High School in Florida. He was a really good athlete, man. Really good dual threat quarterback, man. And like last year, Coach Prime did a inter squad scrimmage between kids that wanted to tape if in case they wanted to transfer out of there. He was one of the guys on there, and the quarterback was live in that scrimmage, and he ran over a guy that transferred out of there for a touchdown. One of the big plays he did. But he was an athlete, man. He had a fucking rifle too. He could throw the fuck out of the football, man. So shout out to Ed Reed and Coach Prime for shining his light. And prayers to his family, man. All right. Zach Petty with 5 picks on the year, 7 pass deflected. Colorado, Jason Stokes, tired as hell. He got 3 picks, 9 pass deflected, 2 sacks on the year. Transfer from Utah. Bama's Mike Strahan, 8 interceptions on the year, 22 tackles, 5 pass deflected. There's our interception leader thus far. Dre Blyde, a redshirt senior. North Carolina corners is playing. They both redshirt senior. They playing at a high level. Took them a while to get to this level, but they playing really good football. D'Angelo Ratatagan, the senior for Utah, for South Carolina. Sorry, but he got 10 interceptions, 8 pass deflected. That's your sack, your interception leader. And Deion Miner comes back for a senior season for South Carolina. He led the nation in picks last year. He got 5 right now, 4 pass deflected and 1 sack. Nebraska's Jimmy Zagaskis, 5 interceptions, 13 pass deflected. How about Tyler Beavers? 5 interceptions, a strong sophomore from out of Ordell, New Jersey. That's 6'4", 222 pounds, man. Really good safety, right? 5 interceptions, 48 tackles, 1 sack, 20 assisted, and 10 starts, 4 deflected. And Cornell Rainman, 5 interceptions, 10 deflected, 22 tackles. Gregory Epps, 6 picks on the year, 6 deflected. Notre Dame, and then you're looking at Lloyd Pierre, 3 interceptions, 6 picks, the junior with 28 tackles. Doak Walker Award, Jaquil Smith, the Colorado transfer leading the league. In this vote, you got TJ Bianca Batuka, Alabama, only 2,000 yard back in the league this year. Ray Tunsil on his way to 2,000 yards, and Michael is 3 yards away. Oregon's running back KJ Spiller, only 91 carries, 1535. He had 19 touchdowns. Jamal LeBron, 1399, 20 touchdowns for South Florida. Brian Monk, Tulane, 160 carries for 1,048 yards rushing. Deshaun Hines, the senior, for 114 attempts, 803 yards, 37. Richard Young, the Bull, he hasn't been a starting running back at all in his career at Colorado, but he's been the best running back on the roster. 115 attempts, 14-18, 16 touchdowns, 12 yards a pop, 7 catches, 145 yards off the backfield, and his nickname is the Unit. Try to tackle him and see how that go. Evan Sawyer's the Wildcat back, 1569. And what I like about him is that he's a backfield threat. So that for him to be running a Wildcat, he got the perfect archetype for that position. Kalen Westbrook, Texas Tech running back, 204 carries, 13-17, 6 yards to pop, 20 rushing touchdowns, 354 yards in the air. And Rashad Gums come back for his senior year, and he got 14-67, 10 yards to pop, 18 touchdowns. The Biletnikoff Award, Matthew Cutler, the redshirt junior, 71 catches, 1464, 16 receiving touchdowns. He got almost 1,000 yards after contact, only 3 drops on the year. How about young Maurice Teller, the redshirt freshman, balling for North Carolina, 1458, 14 touchdowns. 84 was his longest. He got 685 yards after contact. Will he be in the portal? Johnny Stamper. 87 catches, 1055, 16 touchdowns, only 2 drops. Oklahoma State. That's how you know when everybody running the ball this year, because you got a lot of computer teams with receivers going crazy. Oklahoma State, 109 catches, 1195, 9 touchdowns. And then you got Eric McCorkle, 54 catches, 977 yards, 15 touchdowns. Only 1 drop on the year, 321 yards for USC. Joey Toncho, the junior, 55 catches, 964 yards. You got George Banks, his redshirt senior, 60 catches, 1038, 13 touchdowns, 3 drops. Ian Mustard, 51, 1091, 13 touchdowns, 399 yards to contact. AJ Green Jr., 51 catches for 1106, 12 receiving touchdowns, 1 drop, 486 after contact. Utah State's Bart Sawyer. You got Georgia's Young Jr., Dwayne Lombardi, 28 catches, 508, 8 touchdowns, 63 was his longest, 6 drops on 174. For 28 catches and 6 drops was a lot of drops. And Randy Proctor, 32 for 1,006, 16 touchdowns, only 2 drops on the year. Lombardi Award, Devin Mentor, Emmanuel Azuga, Ezra Christian, Patrick Falk, Belasami Kamara, Dylan Manuel, Charles Dowd, North Carolina, Brett Kerr, Houston, Diamba Ali Jr., redshirt junior, 17 sacks on the year. Notre Dame, Clemestiers Garrett for USF, 10 sacks on the season, 26 tackles for loss. Coco Claybooks, 11 sacks, 21 tackles for loss. The redshirt senior, Clemson, and the Houston's Gideon Cashman, 9 sacks, 25 tackles for loss. Houston get after it. All right, senior quarterback. Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, D'Angelo Fries, Kawambina Colt. You got Roderick Pete, except for Dog for Duke, their old quarterback. Roderick Pete, those there. And then you go all the way down to Greg Winthrop, the Oregon transfer for Arizona State. Edge rusher of the year, Devin Mentor. And you start to see some of the same names, fellas. A.J. Waters is 9 sacks, 26 tackles for losses. Keith Aduzzi, 13 to 26. Deontay Livings, 8 sacks, 24 tackles for losses. BYU's Frederick Platt. Outland Trophy. This award is presented to the best interior lineman of the year. Orlando Pace Jr., transfers from Ohio State. And Ohio State said, fucking keep him. We got Kai Breeze. Imagine if they had both of them still. Pay attention to Orlando Pace Jr. with 62 pancakes. Kai Breeze with 38 pancakes. Sidney Crane with 19. Alabama's Nate Tialo with 55 pancakes on the year. Raw strength 6'8", 337 from Newark, New Jersey. Quandre Dobbs, 45 pancakes on the year. Pass protector, sophomore, red shirt. Wes Boyett, red shirt junior, 14 pancakes. Frank Hicks, 60 pancakes, 10 games played, 671 downs. Shakir Tatum, sophomore. Let these boys come back and see what North Carolina going to look like next year. 78 pancakes, out. Greg Willingham, 17 pancakes. Deion Hay, 18 pancakes. Ben Rochelle, 51 pancakes for Texas. And KJ Falah, Louisville, 7 pancakes. The John Mackey Award. The best player in the nation right now on offense is Terry Bass, and he's also the best tight end. But you got Deion Hilliman from Tulane. You got Andre Benjamin from Notre Dame. Manny Johnson from LSU. Terrell Ash from Alabama. Houston's Dwayne Sneed. Ben Pino for Ohio State. You got Cole Crawford for USC. Spencer Abraham from Baylor. Juan Tavares, Florida. Marshall Tolbert, Indiana. And Braylon Murray, the son of the retired coach Brandon Murray. Dick Buckers Award, Terrell Jeffrey, Mike linebacker. Carson Crawford, Colorado. Mike linebacker. Dalton Shaw, Alabama. LJ Taylor, North Carolina. Texas is David Turbin. You're looking at Nate Cookus from USF. NC State's David Gotta didn't leave. 49 tackles, 1 sack, 7 tackles for loss. Derek Brooks Jr., 40 tackles, 9 pass deflected, 2 interceptions. The senior from Fort Lauderdale. Juan Nunez, 5 sacks, 39 tackles, 28 assisted, 2 passes deflected. Charlie Childs, Clemson, 27 tackles, 20 assisted tackles, 6 sacks, 19 tackles for loss. Johnny Allman, the redshirt junior for BYU, will he hit the portal? And then Javion Paul, the junior for Florida International. Don't let him hit the portal. We're a dog. 54, what do he look like? All right, Remington Award. This goes to the best center in the country, and that's Sidney Crane. You got Greg Willingham, Emmanuel Virgil, Louisville, Kyle Murphy, Houston, Taylor Quintana, Texas A&M, Mateo Rios, 55 pancakes, North Carolina, Ishmael Kamara, Oklahoma, it's 13 pancakes, 609 downs played. Alabama's Jamie Carden, 38 pancakes. Texas Dante Corn, 29 pancakes. Greg Renaud, Oregon, freshman, 59 pancakes. Cassius Katu, or Kute, North Texas, and then Ryland Bowanka. All right, Jet Award goes to the best returner of the year, and we're looking at David Atachu. Last time I looked at his stats, he had 9 kick returns. He probably got more than that. Parker Washington, Alabama. Jaquez Torrey, Notre Dame. Tristan Keys, Tennessee. Cam Moe, Nebraska. KJ Spiller, Clemson. Dwayne Lombardi, Georgia. Curtis Lesky, Texas. Clinton Johnson, whatever that is, USF. Mustafa Owusu, Tulane, and then Michael Lyles, Matt Flowers. Sean Alexander, best freshman in the nation right now. You're looking at North Carolina, Maurice Teller, Alabama's Brian Reed, C.J. McCaffrey, the running back for North Carolina, the number 1 running back on last year's class, 765 on the ground, 11 touchdowns, 272 as a receiver. Achilles Smith Jr., quarterback for Oregon, 2,787 yards, 43 touchdowns, only 7 picks, 69% on the day. How about young Robert Woods, true freshman, the second true freshman we're looking on as bitch. And Khalil Teller, the Pittsburgh kid, goes to Colorado. He's going to visit in real life, going to come to Colorado. We get him. That's Rob boy. Rob put me up on him. Played right in Rob's neighborhood. Dwayne Cadu, Virginia Tech, redshirt freshman at quarterback. Brian Vick, running back. Don't let him hit the portal. He's a monster, 6 foot 220. Benny Booker. Nebraska. All right, no. All right, that's your awards list. Now listen, we got big games left. Let's look at the schedule real fast. Let's go top 25 matchups. Big time matchup: Florida State, Virginia Tech. Sienna, if you're still watching, I'm gonna handle that as soon as this the last segment of the show, and I'll take care of that. You sent me the names, right? Can you retext that name to me again? The names to me again, please, so I can hurry up and get it done. Because I know you're about to play Florida State. All right, Houston got Oklahoma State. That don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter. We played that already. That don't matter. That don't matter. That don't. This matters. Is this the game of the week? Can we get a pick'em game? All right, this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go pick'em for Florida and South Carolina. You either post it in the comments or post it in the chat. Pick the winner, and you get a true freshman on 2 speed to excel. Same thing with the LSU Georgia game. Pick the winner, 2 speed to excel on a true freshman. This game was played already, and that's it. All right, so they're the two games: LSU Georgia and Florida South Carolina. Pick the winner and get a 2 speed to excel on a true freshman of your choice. You either type it in the comment section now, who you got winning in those
SC.
two games, or you post it in the chat. I would recommend you do both, comment section and the chat, because I'll see it in one of the two.
UGA.
I'm going South Carolina and LSU. All right, last thing is the Heisman race right now. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to beat Terry Bass. He is going crazy. Ray Tunsil's on here, Jaquil Smith, KJ Spiller, and then quarterback Julian Lewis is the fifth guy on this list right now. So, man, take a look at it. I really don't see anybody beating Terry Bass out. It looks like Clemson might be getting their first Heisman winner, which would be crazy because we'll be seeing the first tight end to ever win that award. With that being said, man, I'm at Hits. We'll catch y'all on the next show. Holla at me.